Hey there, and welcome back to the Second Lunch Podcast. I am your host, Chris Moran, with my co-host, Kolpy. Cole, do you ever break the law?
Not really. Not these days. I mean, speeding doesn't count anymore.
I broke the law today.
What'd you do?
For 40 minutes.
What'd you do? Were you driving around?
Fucking a horse. No. That is illegal, though, right? That's one of the better ones.
That's illegal in this state now. Yeah.
Don't.
Post Kenneth Pinion. Thanks, Enum Claw.
Yeah, thanks.
Ruining everything.
Mr. Hands.
Yeah.
I don't want to, I know we have a lot of fans, and I know they think a lot of things about me, and I don't want to ruin my reputation.
It's so good through the first 46 hours of this podcast.
I think people need to know I'm a little bit of a bad boy. You know what I mean? I'm a tough customer. Today, I got cut off by a fellow with one of those lion versus sheep bumper stickers. You know I love. And I thought, all being a lion is just being a fucking asshole. So I'm gonna do that. I got in the carpool lane. I didn't have anybody with me. Just sat in the fucking carpool lane for 40 minutes. I had plenty of time. I was going to get here 15 minutes early either way. I was like, why not get there 25 early?
I do want to circle back to this being a lion versus being a sheep, because aren't lions endangered? Aren't there way more sheep per capita? Fuck, Iceland, they outnumber the people 3-1. There's nowhere where the lions are outnumbering anything 3-1.
See, there we go.
I'm just saying.
And we're actively killing sheep.
Yeah, and they're just making moves.
Yeah.
You ever seen, I watch a bunch of animal videos on, it's basically all I use the internet for.
Yeah.
Sports clips, that, political nonsense.
I didn't know bears could swim.
Yeah.
No, swim, dude.
No, check this out.
Yeah.
No, check this one out. No, a sheep will wander off from its herd, and they'll find it 5 or 6 years later, overgrown, but it was just sheeping along out there, doing its thing, survived just fine. I'm sure if there were any predators, once it has that amount of wool, it's got to be a hell of a, I'm not eating all this
What
shit.
kind of, I don't want to eat a pillow.
Yeah, because they are, sheep for wool. They're not for consumption, so they hang around a long time.
I wonder if, we're some of the smarter mammals. I doubt the other mammals are looking at that pillow thinking, there's probably meat in there. They're probably it's got to be pillow the whole way through.
Yeah, there's
nothing but fluff, waste of time.
Exactly. It's like looking at a cloud, man. It's got to be cloud all the way through. There's no tender morsel in the middle of that. I don't know, though.
A thick cloud shell. Chocolate on the inside.
Well, at least with the Bronco, you've got the car seat in there. Nobody can see inside your vehicle.
Exactly.
So there's no real...
Exactly.
I will say there's that one part of I-5 where if the carpool lanes are open... Or not, excuse me, express lanes. And the carpool lane turns into the lane that becomes the express lane. I usually get in that a good mile early because it turns into a complete zoo when it's actually the time I'm supposed to get in.
Yeah.
It's I'll be cool. I'll let a few cars in, but I am getting in now.
So you break the law a little.
No one lets me in. Yeah,
You're also kind of a rebel without a cause.
Exactly. Well, I would like to think I had a cause there, but yeah, it's
because I was going to be later.
It's my own anxiety because of my own decision to leave late. I was trying to find socks that matched.
Yeah, I'm always if I get pulled over for this, I'll just be like, whoops, I got a car seat in the back, so used to driving the baby around.
Yeah, exactly. Between the tinted windows, the car seat, it's your vehicle isn't the first one I'd pull over. It's the Honda CRX from the 90s.
Is it worth it?
Yeah.
There could be a kid back there when I can clearly see that person in the Honda Civic is by themselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of baby, I had a little bit of a wake-up call today. Kendall, being a parent's all fun and games.
Yeah, nothing about it is stressful or challenging.
Until your toddler comes up to you, grabs what you previously thought were your pecs, and says, boobs.
Well,
so
at least you know that both her, that her object word association is clicking on all cylinders.
And I'm just going to say she meant nipples. Let's go with that. We'll say...
We're way past object permanence,
yeah,
man.
And you know what? She really likes Katie's boobs, so maybe it was a compliment.
I'm glad that you're glass half fulling this to the best of your ability.
I have to do that so I can continue to drink as much beer as I intend to today.
It's also way better, I think, for Kendall's overall mental health, too, if you're,
Speaking of Kendall's mental health, dude, she's doing this thing. she's starting to learn phrases. She's starting to try to like string sentences and like thoughts together rather than just Elmo. Literally, she says Elmo in her sleep. She'll just like, she's dead asleep and just Elmo. It's like, okay, this is getting a little weird.
Yeah, there's got to be more to the story there.
Yeah. But she's doing this thing where she has like 5 people she talks about. Her cousins, Elmo, Cookie Monster, and Abby, which is another Muppet. And she'll say...
Abby seems like a more pedestrian name than Elmo.
It's Abby Cadabby, okay?
Okay,
she's a fairy.
Okay, that is a step up. I take it back.
Get your Sesame Street characters.
I'm out of the loop.
God. Yeah. I'll get you informed. I'll make sure.
Man, I'm only good on The Simpsons through like season 12, and then I'm like, I have no idea. Sorry, continue.
She's doing this thing now where she'll be like, Cookie. And we'll be like, yeah, Cookie. He fell. And we're like, okay, like, I don't know why, but everybody's falling. She'll just be like, Elmo, he fell. But this is all the time. All the time. Somebody's fallen. Everybody around her's fallen, man. And I'm just wondering, when did Dahmer's parents start getting suspicious? Because she'll, like, throw Elmo and be like, he fell. And I'm like, blink twice if you need help, Elmo. Jesus Christ. You do not need to be in this abusive of a relationship.
If Moose starts avoiding her or something like that, if the dog is on the run, like, okay, we got to calm this down.
Who burnt Moose's tail off? I guess that's where we would start getting suspicious, but
definitely a red flag.
Yeah, everybody around her's fallen, man. I'm like, can we do something else?
Yeah. Like the animals all bandaged and stuff. She's like, fell down the stairs. Like, that is oddly dark. And
how does Elmo only have one eye?
Yeah.
Yeah. She will occasionally say, he fart, which is great. That's great comedy.
Yes. He fart also has almost a Borat.
So maybe this is
it.
more of a slapstick thing. She's like, he fell. Boom.
Yeah, exactly. It's
like he's Chevy Chase.
Yeah, exactly. He's doing his Buster Keaton.
All right. I think we're ready for Tinderella now, right?
Yeah, and I've got it pulled up. I'll hit you with the first one. Okay. Are peanut butter flavored things better than peanut butter? I think this really depends perhaps on the item.
This is a complicated question.
Yeah, they make peanut butter whiskey now. It's like that's not better than peanut butter. But
yeah, it depends on who you ask. I know some people right now who are digging on that, and I can't drink whiskey for whatever reason. It just it kills me immediately. I can drink a bottle of tequila and be a little hungover the next day, but if I did that with whiskey, I'm in the hospital, like possibly deceased. I was eating...
I'm the same way. You know me. I'm a gin man, so...
I had a peanut butter shake, some of Katie's peanut butter shake, because I'm never going to get a whole
that is a stellar...
It's madness.
See, that's a stellar iteration of peanut butter right there.
But yeah, there's probably some peanut butter in there, but it's mostly things that help it just taste like peanut butter.
Yeah,
but if you're just eating
peanut butter's so cheap, it's like, why bother with the substitutes?
It makes your mouth so dry.
Well, especially if you're doing the fat guy thing and just slamming a spoonful into your mouth. Just no questions asked.
You start coughing after the third spoonful because you're not drinking anything with it.
It's hard to breathe.
Yeah. Am I allergic? No, I'm just not drinking.
No, I just ate 3 tablespoons of peanut butter. You're trying to drink milk over it, but like the peanut oil is, the milk isn't breaking it down. It's been... Oh, God.
Yeah. I don't have a decisive answer for this. This was more for discussion because I really don't know what's better.
Yeah, I think, okay, there's just a wide spectrum. Because, yeah, dessert type items, a milkshake, any ice cream with peanut butter in it or peanut butter ice cream, love that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, there are times where they've gone too far. This is a good chance to talk about a little history, as we love to educate. Peanut butter originally, as far as sandwiches go, was considered more of a bread adhesive. So people would kind of make peanut butter and whatever. So, in fact, peanut butter and bacon became so popular. I mean, Elvis, obviously, but became so popular that I think it was Kraft made a peanut butter and bacon spread. Like a pre-processed. Yeah. Oh, my God. Indeed. And then there were just a lot of peanut butter and blank because people weren't really concerned about the taste of the peanut butter. It was just like, I want a pickle sandwich. How do I stick it all together? So yeah, like peanut butter and pickles and yeah.
That's how we get the peanut butter burger. The patty's too big. I'm telling you, it's going to slip out. Exactly. I got this.
Hold on. I've got some sticky stuff.
You ever heard of super glue? I got something similar, but edible. Did you know that legally, who is it who like approves food like contaminant levels or whatever?
Oh, the FDA who
Sure,
like
FDA.
reviews. Yeah,
Did you know you can have up to 2%? Oh man, this is gonna gross a lot of people out. 2% rat shit in it before they wave the flag and they're like, no, that's too much.
So if you just like you get it down to 1.93, the auction continues
Because there's so many rodents in those factories where that stuff's made, so that's in there.
No.
But tastes pretty good, so
yeah, well,
whatever. It's gotta
all
be.
gets lost in the wash. You know, we've spent a lot of time on this show critiquing Katie's family's food habits, and I think it's time to out a food habit of my dad's. That's,
I thought you were coming after me. I was like, oh my god,
no,
there's so many
no.
things.
I don't even know. I don't know if I know any of yours well enough, anyways. But no, but something he ate that I actually enjoyed, like the whole 2 times I ate it with him. But very simple, very cheap food. But he would eat peanut butter sandwich and chili. Like,
Like just together or in chili?
No, like he would, do a little dip into the chili. Yeah, truly eating them together.
Fuck, I hate that I can believe that being kind of good. Damn it. That's
You can
awful.
see where it works.
Oh,
also,
no.
it's absolutely like a toasted peanut butter. You're not doing the yeah. So, and I tried it with him. It was like a little bold, but it worked. It worked. And as far as having, 2 slices of bread, a can of chili, and peanut butter on hand, it's really the best thing you can make. Options are limited. But sorry, I got us off base there.
That is solid.
It worked. He's actually quite good in the kitchen, which obviously doesn't apply to throwing something like that together, but yeah, he's got some decent ideas rolling around. All right, Chris, who is someone who is so talented and sexy that it annoys you?
I thought of this question because I watched an interview with Ryan Reynolds. Fuck. God damn it, that man. Holy shit. He's beautiful. He's also, like, I've never seen somebody pull off sarcasm that genuinely, and it's still funny. Like, it doesn't come across as, like, angry. Jim Carrey is super sarcastic, but it's, like, over-the-top sarcastic, which I love.
I do think Jezelnik has the right smarminess sort of sarcasm.
Yeah.
That's
But it's so dry. You know what I mean? Reynolds is, like, sarcastic with flavor. I don't know.
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
Yeah, and he's beautiful. It's just, like, it's like when I see an athlete who is gorgeous and also, like, the best at their job. It's like, fuck you. This is pick one. You can't be both. This is outrageous. He can't do both things. Drives me nuts. I mean, it doesn't actually. I love Ryan Reynolds. But yeah, there's times like I was watching that interview. I'm like, and you're cool.
Yeah.
Fuck you, dude.
Yeah, for me, not the sexiness factor, but definitely the talent factor being annoying. I was always Donald Glover for me. It's like,
Yeah.
You're doing stand-up.
Yeah.
Atlanta's a good show. Your rap albums
Yeah,
are pretty
good
good.
rap
Like,
music,
God damn it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just jealousy. It is just unchecked jealousy.
Swiss Army knife of talent.
And then I will also say, to a far lesser extent, a person I will throw in there is Mookie Betts. Like, get out of here with the bowling.
Oh, yeah.
Get out of
I'm
here.
with you. Even if you can do it, let somebody else.
Come on.
You're already doing something
You're
else.
pretty. You're winning MVPs in both leagues and stuff. Like, just give it a rest, Again, do I dislike Mookie Betts? Not even close.
But should he knock it off? Yeah. Quit it.
Give it a rest, buddy. Calm down. Oh, man. This is a hell of a question. Would you rather be sticky or itchy for the rest of your life?
I think I would rather be itchy.
Me too.
Because sticky is just like...
There's no relief.
There's
because if you're itchy, having been to Alaska enough and just gotten crushed by mosquito bites, at least while you're scratching it, feels nice.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't think
would
there's
just be so red.
Bleeding, dude. But I don't know if there's an equivalent for stickiness. If you're talking about, an eternity, stickiness in perpetuity, I gotta go itch.
I thought of this question while I was lifting the other night. I'm in my garage and it gets humid in there. And I was both sticky and itchy.
Oh, yeah. So you were...
And I was like, if I had to pick one... Yeah, I don't know. That's where my brain went. If I had to pick one of these for the rest of my life. But itchy is, like, motivating for me, especially if I'm doing something else. It, like, makes me mad. My caveman brain's just like, it's so fucking itchy. And then I'm like picking up 1,000,000 pounds, like no problem, you know, like how a mom can like lift a car off her kid or something.
See, that's better. You're doing the right activity for that frustration, though. It's not the same as when I'm like putting together a dog kennel that I was supposed to finish in 30 minutes and I'm on
And
hour
you're itchy.
2. Where you just start losing. It's like, I swear, I go to therapy. You know, I don't lose my mind like this that often, but when I do, it's on an inanimate object.
We have to order another dog crate. Why? I spiked it.
Yeah.
Okay. It's gone. We need a new one.
There was I don't know why I'm outing my own anger issues here. This was ultimately like 4 years ago now, but it does make me laugh. I had a silly clock that, I don't know, I spent $25 on, and it fell. A cat knocked it over. I'm not blaming the cat here. It was the clock's fault. And the clock fell behind a speaker and just smashed the inputs out of the back of the speaker. Like, okay, the speaker was $200. The clock is, of course, fine. The speaker's now ruined. Clock had to die.
Yeah.
I even actually ended up buying a replacement clock, but that clock was haunted. That was cursed. Had to go. Couldn't.
You've wrecked your last speaker.
The only other thing I can remember I mean, we've been in that house 5 years. The other thing I destroyed, I absolutely office spaced a printer. But, I mean, it's cliche, but this printer had it coming for so long.
Well, make better printers. You know what I mean?
I think it's that thing where, you know, I've heard people say that there's not really a reliable way to make a great printer that costs less than, like, I don't know, $500 or so. And of course, consumers don't want to spend that much.
I'm not buying anything over 85.
Yeah, exactly. And it's, well, then you get an $85 printer, and that works 15% of the time. 85 stands for the 85% it doesn't fucking work. It was still a functional scanner, but again, had to die.
Yeah.
Too many wrongs had been committed. Okay. I think we got our last Tinderella question here. Boxers or briefs?
I've moved on to briefs, but were you ever a nerd? Did you ever wear tighty whities?
I had them when I was a kid, and then, you know, the cool kids started wearing boxers.
Do you remember when you switched to boxers?
Yeah, it was probably 5th or 6th grade.
I remember it distinctly. It was like a moment in my life. We were at Fred Meyer. New Fred Meyer just opened up down the road. Family shopping trip.
Moving on up.
And I had to get new underwear, and I said, you know what, Mom? I'm going to get boxers. She's like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, I'm sure. My balls have never experienced such freedom as they did the first time I put on boxers.
Yeah.
I had no idea. And now, this is why I've kind of switched to briefs. I've discovered I like a little bit of a hold.
Yeah.
A little bit of a cuddle on them.
Yeah. You don't want to be plowing fields with these
Yeah,
things.
and Frank, you pull up jeans on boxers, and they get all bunched up, and it's a whole fucking thing.
I understand where you're coming from.
But so I'm going to say briefs, but that moment when I first had boxers, man, I don't want to take anything away from boxers. I respect the game.
I'm still a boxers man. I do have some that are more of the boxer brief variety, but I get it. And I will say, post vasectomy, I was really regretting the lack of supportive, there for you tighty whities.
Yeah, that's when you really needed some support, some comfort.
Yeah, I was wearing a jock strap that I had stuffed with like a napkin to keep everything in place. Yeah, not me at my best.
This is actually a kind of a good transition. Speaking of the nether regions, do you want to do this one?
What are we talking about? Oh, no. You go ahead and do this one. I'll throw something in.
I read an article that said most men who climb Mount Everest get erections because of the elevation change.
Do you ever think that people invented religion not to ruin fun stuff like that? Because couldn't the boner just be because I climb Mount Everest and God was just
so fucking sick right now.
I am fully torqued.
Yeah.
But instead you got to be like altitude and blood pressure. Like, shut up, nerd. You know?
No, I just did something sick. And I'm fucking torqued about it.
I know I distracted with that immediate response, but
I was thinking,
wild.
Imagine
do they give a percentage? I mean, I'm sure it's not 100%, but is it like?
No, it said most.
Okay,
and
wow,
yeah,
that's a lot.
More than 50%.
That is surprising. So, is it only when you get up? And I don't know how many details they gave you, so it's fine if you don't know.
It was not a lot. It was pretty short. That's basically That's
Fair
basically
enough.
it.
I'm wondering if it's
It more so went
only-
into the science of why, which we've already covered.
Fair enough. I'm wondering if it really starts to happen at like the crazy high, or if it's just something like as you move up, it's just happening more frequently, or if it's you hit 27,000 feet and your body's just like what?
Yeah, it's
Boner time.
It's got to be pretty weird because there's not a whole lot of people who know each other who are motivated enough to summit Everest.
Very true.
So you're just you and a bunch of other people you don't know, fucking torqued, and like, do you talk about it?
I mean, I guess you got all that clothing on, so nobody knows, but everybody knows.
A lot of people
you're
have died
all
up there
in the
too. Are
same
they
boat.
still pitching a tent, so to speak?
Rigor mortis applies to
Your ding dong. Yeah,
I don't think that's how that works.
It's funny because you know how like if people take too many of those gas station boner pills, like they do it too often, that's the only way they can get hard. What if the only way you could get hard was to climb Mount Everest?
You're in your mid-40s, you're a mountaineer, you and your wife have been pursuing your careers, never wanted a child. Now you're starting to age a bit, and she goes, I think it's time to try for one. He's like,
Get your hiking boots.
you know what that means. We got to do this one more time.
Yeah.
It's like the beginning of the worst fucking Adam Sandler, Tim Allen movie you've ever seen.
Get a camelback. Get your boots.
We call it peak boner.
peak boner.
You could call it boner peak too. I don't know. You
Wow.
really choose it either way.
This is going to be a tough episode title to pass for YouTube, but
Since we're talking about climbing mountains, though, so there's they call it a third man syndrome. I think it's called a syndrome is what they refer to it as. But folks that have been in crazy survival scenarios, like Erna Shackleton, normally on mountaineering expeditions, but it could happen elsewhere too. But speak of a sensation, because it's usually you and one other person, but speak of a sensation where they kind of see an apparition that guides them during that time, to safety. And a lot of people have talked about it. And I'm now starting to wonder if, the ghostly apparition giving you a little handy, giving you a little old fashioned.
the ghostly apparitions, Jennifer Aniston.
No, it's just a version of yourself that goes, he needs a handy right about now. Did you ever play those like racing games as a kid? I had a snowmobiling game where you would race your own like ghostly visage in a time trial.
Yeah.
Because really, who knows how to
So
stroke?
you're saying Samesies, but with a handy.
Who knows how to give you a handy better than yourself at the end of the day?
You know what? I've always wondered about that. Why does... well, we may end up cutting this because this is not something I would normally talk about, even on this podcast. Why does timing come into orgasms at all? You know how everybody's got like a certain speed, or like you can't just be like... Wah, 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 wah. Like you gotta you have to have a rhythm to it.
Yeah,
That'll work. Why does rhythm come into it at all?
There's a je ne sais quoi. There's an art form, It's I don't know. It's what did
some people can only come to freeform jazz.
Well, Malcolm Gladwell wrote that everybody that's truly great at something does it for 10,000 hours, right? So
I'm probably there. You're saying I'm great at this?
Probably for you. Would it work for me? I don't know.
Put me in the Hall of Fame, man.
Call my number. What number are we retiring?
69.
Of course.
Obviously.
Are we on to headlines, Chris?
Yeah, let's do headlines. As everybody knows, our education segment. Got to make sure everybody's up to date on current events. Florida man attempts to swim away from arrest to avoid giving cops and girlfriend his passcode. This motherfucker did not want to open his phone, so he jumped off the boat he was being apprehended on and swam away. He was later caught on the beach. Arrest him. He's guilty. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You don't need anything more. The man is guilty.
I'm wondering what crime he committed, though, that both the cops and the girlfriend wanted his password.
Right.
There's some Venn diagram between things that make your girlfriend mad.
I read it. They were basically, it was just a kind of a basic, you're getting stopped on a boat, but this guy had, not priors, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but warrants.
Warrants, thank you. And so he was like, well, you shouldn't have even pulled me over in the first place. And then they're like, they thought he would have some sort of information, I think, about drug trafficking or something on his phone. And he's like, I'm not opening my phone. And then, of course, the girlfriend gets suspicious, like, why won't you open your phone? I've been there. I've been there.
See, the thing is that Ashley can look at my phone, whatever, but I would totally tell a cop he couldn't look at my phone.
Right, right. So yeah, I think his significant other just got suspicious that he wouldn't open his phone.
Fair.
Which is fair.
I understand.
Which maybe she didn't know what he was doing.
I understand her point of view, but yeah, I would totally just saying blanket no.
But he even asks, he's like, what would happen if I jumped in the water and swam away? They're like, we'll still arrest you. And then he still jumped in the water and swam away and got caught like right away.
What did he expect their answer to be? Like, yep, that's the old...
He just wanted to get a workout in
old
before he went to
loophole.
jail. Like, they were not close to shore either.
This isn't Mario Party, man. You don't escape because you jumped off the boat or some fucking weird rules like that. Like, yeah, the warrants go up in smoke, man.
He's wet. We can't put him in the we can't put him in the clink.
Listen, I learned this as a kid. I hate water levels. Okay.
Chicken wings advertised as boneless can have bones. Ohio Supreme Court decides.
Okay, this is what happens when you allow non-wings to be called wings. It's all of a sudden.
You're saying we've muddied the waters too much.
Hold on though. Okay, this one I do want to read what the logic is. Okay, boneless refers to a cooking style. I can't agree with that.
Yeah, no.
Cooking
style, is it filleted or not? Are there bones in there or is there not bones?
Yeah, I mean, the amount of people that would be more mad that there were bones in a boneless thing rather than the cooking style not matching, it's...
The thing that got me is the reason this whole thing came up. The lawsuit was started by a guy who ate what he thought was a boneless wing, but there was a bone in it, so he swallowed a bone.
But it wasn't supposed to have a bone. But then they basically sided with, okay.
True. So I don't agree with this at all. But I do have to say, this guy, you can clearly see when it's a boneless wing or not. Also, why are you just inhaling shit? Like, chew it. What are you doing? You're inhaling it, man. Like, enjoy it a little.
RuPaul's Drag Race starts in 3 minutes. Like, Jesus, dude. Yeah, fucking TiVo or something.
It's not like this is macaroni. You can't just swallow. You gotta chew, man.
You don't turn on the bones. No, that's a very good point. Like, I mean, even though we've had our debates about boneless versus, traditional wings, I love them both. But yeah, you can spot them from a mile away.
I understand boneless wings are chicken nugs with sauce on them.
Yeah, but it's like you can tell from a mile away what's a flat, what's a drum, what's a boneless.
Right, exactly. Maybe this judge is so fed up with the boneless argument. He's like, no. I'm going to make it so they have to call these what the fuck they are. These are chicken nugs with sauce, you sons of bitches. That's got to be what this is about, because this makes no sense.
It is wild that there's been multiple instances of litigation now in multiple states related to wings, whether it's boneless in the name or whatever. This is like the fourth story like this.
Don't we have better things to worry about?
This is why
litigating chicken wings.
I do, yeah. Our energy has to be better spent elsewhere as a species.
I want them to be called chicken wings.
All right, well...
How do I get that through?
Called John Henry Brown. Let's take this to the Supreme Court.
Sharks off the coast of Brazil test positive for cocaine, prompting wild theories.
Okay.
Do you have any wild theories about this, Cole? How do you think the sharks got the cocaine?
There's cocaine in the water. This is... I mean, they found like antidepressants in fish and stuff, too. I mean, it's... Not in, like, huge amounts, but...
Are the fish depressed?
Well, my pee is depressed. Or no, actually, it's taking away the depression. It's carrying it away from me.
That's what they do. It just... the pills take the depression right out of probably your brain.
It's...
And then you pee it out.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how the fish get it.
Like, man, this fish.
So the fish are depressed, so then they have to go get antidepressants. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. Then the fish is like, I'm listening to a lot of Radiohead now. Like, I kind of get it, man. I've been there. Wait till you find Elliott Smith. Yeah.
Let me know when you start listening to Linkin Park, though, because we should probably bump up your meds.
We've turned a corner.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I will say sharks. So the examples that I was referring to, I will say those are often like, it's a sewer system that's connected to a river. It's a smaller body of water. I will say sharks in the ocean, I am a little surprised to hear.
Right.
Because you would think, of course, how much cocaine comes in off the coast or, whether leaving or arriving off coasts every day, just like any other, product that's shipped, some of it's going to fall in the water. I just didn't know there would be enough to show up in a shark's bloodstream. Or
I'm trying to find it right now, but
because
I thought I had this saved for headlines, but I clearly don't. So this week in Miami, dozens of little packages filled with cocaine.
Yes, I did see that.
Washed ashore. And this is like the 4th time it's happened in the last 2 years.
Yeah, the person found like some good Samaritan called in like
That's not
pounds.
a wild theory. That's how it's happening. The sharks are like, I'll try that. And they're eating a big fucking bag of cocaine. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, even if the bag rips open, if the shark is near it, I mean, there's probably enough, that trace amounts.
These drug dealers fucking suck balls. If you're dropping this much of your supply in the ocean, all the sharks are fucked up, or maybe that's their plan. They're like, well, get the sharks fucked up, and then it's clear sailing. We don't have to worry about sharks.
Then they're on our payroll. I do.
You just give them a taste.
Yeah.
And then they work for you, basically.
I do know, and I think this is still true today, but that the profit margins on cocaine are so high that you can experience pretty large losses on product and on money. Like
losses.
Pablo,
rubbing it on your gums.
Pablo Escobar was losing a lot of money. I don't want to overstate the amount, but it was like up to 5%, and some of his just to rats eating the fucking money because they had so much money. It was ridiculous.
Rats like rats or like guys not doing their job?
No, ratatouille rats. No, I mean there's some of that too. That's actually a great point, Chris, because there's got to be some guys that are like fucking rats, man. Yeah.
It was the rats, dude.
Yeah,
you've seen them how they act.
Yeah. Did they buy you that Lamborghini you just arrived in? Well, the rats are generous. What can I say? But I could see where, that's the type of, shit happens. Sometimes a boat goes down or whatever, but your profit margins are such that you're fine.
Getting pulled over and you just dump it into the water.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you don't show the cops your phone. You swim away.
Yeah. So I'm glad we've linked story 2 to story 3. This fucking guy got these sharks high. This asshole. Of course his wife was like, "We're girlfriend. What are you doing?" I wouldn't tell her I'm getting the sharks high either. Yeah, you're right. I'm cheating. I'd just rather have that on my conscience. I made a bunch of cocaine sharks. You don't want to wake up to a newspaper one day, 6 dead, scores wounded. Cocaine sharks.
This one, I'm not sure why it's news, but Arkansas men arrested for taking turns shooting each other while wearing bulletproof vest after drinking.
Okay, well, the vest works.
Sounds like they took the proper precautions to me.
You're definitely gonna...
What are we talking about here?
How many times?
Could go wrong?
How many times do they take turns? I hope that should be a one and done. If you have,
it was enough time for people to be like, "Was that a gunshot? Was that another gunshot?" Enough time that people were like, "Okay, we have to call the cops."
Those were 2 distinct gunshots.
Yeah, so at least 2.
Well, I mean, I guess it's not going to take long to figure out what's going on if you crinkle your Venetian blinds and you're just see Jebediah going, "Come on, hit me with one more." Oh my God! At that point, that's maybe your neighbor not even trying to be a snitch, but looking out for you. Like, he's too drunk to be reasoned with. He just call the cops on him for his own safety.
Yeah.
It's like Super Troopers.
I say let him do it if you're dumb enough. If you're not hurting anybody else.
See, that's always the problem with that. It's like when somebody starts like a post-fight brawl outside the cage. Other people can get involved unwittingly, or something like that's the thing I worry about. But I do. there is some freedom of choice there. Just taking shots.
Don't arrest them. Take the gun away, maybe, but I don't want to pay for them sitting in jail. All right, this one, I want to preface this with nobody was hurt.
That's good. That's good.
McDonald's employee arrested.
I'm glad you're starting this one with no one was hurt rather than the 2 guys shooting each other.
I still don't see the problem.
They both got arrested, so they lived. Obviously.
Yeah. You don't arrest a dead person. McDonald's employee arrested after starting dumpster fire because restaurant was too crowded.
Okay.
That's a great reason. If you're going to start a dumpster fire, hey.
I just don't know if that's enough to motivate Bovine America out of your restaurant. I feel like a lot of people would be like, that's weird. And
So-
then just continue.
This guy was training to be the manager. Good thing this happened before that, I guess. Who knows what he would have done. It was too busy.
Yeah.
So he went outside, started a fire, made sure it was going well, like got going. It wasn't going to burn out. Came inside and then filmed it. And then posted it on the internet.
So was he trying to like share that as though to say, don't ever come to this. It's too
This
busy
place
now.
is a dumpster fire.
It'll never be busy again if I have anything to say about it. It is almost throwback to hear of a McDonald's. I mean, this is probably going to sound like some Pacific Northwest fucking living in a goddamn bubble stuff, but I thought everyone agreed McDonald's was too damn expensive now. A Big Mac meal costs like $16 damn. I didn't know anyone was eating there still. Like, not in numbers that would cause
there's
you to
enough of
start a
us
conflagration.
that if everybody's like me, eating there like once, maybe twice annually,
and it just happens to all land on, yeah, that's fair.
the day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I was going to say the same. Yep, New Year's Day,
A
man.
very hungover day where you're like,
Yeah.
fuck, I need some McD's right
Yeah,
now.
I will admit, I think I've mentioned this on the podcast before. I haven't had McDonald's burgers, never really anymore, but I am guilty of the 3 or 4 times a year the hungover McDonald's breakfast.
I go hard on the nugs, dude. I know that's a very 6-year-old thing to do, but
Nothing wrong with that.
I do not know why.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. I still love it. I think this is a fine way to get out your workplace rage rather than freaking out on a customer.
He didn't light the restaurant on fire.
Yeah, it's outside.
Yeah.
I was giving you something to look at. All these people, you got to entertain them. Can't all fit in the place. Give them something to look at.
Holy shit.
You guys want to see some fire?
I was just thinking about places for a second. What a Cathedral of Warts that place was. There's so many like skin diseases.
Yeah.
And, Jesus Christ.
But ball pit.
It's like, how did I know?
Good time.
Clear eyes, full hearts can't lose.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Did nobody else really ever pursue that idea? There was never ever like an Arby's abattoir
Burger King.
or
Good word choice. Great word choice. Burger King, some of them would have those.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay. I missed that. Okay,
But yeah,
that makes sense.
otherwise, not that I really remember.
Yeah, McDonald's they got the monopoly on that.
Burger King was really fighting the fight against McDonald's there for a while. I feel like the 90s, McDonald's and Burger King were like Coke and Pepsi, dude. They were knocking.
Yeah, that's a very good because Wendy's has always been on the sidelines and has always been kind of like we're the value menu guys.
We'll take the leftovers.
Yeah, we're frosty people. And then
Send me your college students.
Jack in the Box killed like 6 people at that point, so they were way out of the mix.
Yeah.
You are not getting involved in the burger wars here. But yeah, they were sort of the Pepsi to. I remember the advertising campaigns like everybody says our fries are better.
No, they don't. What? I don't remember that. That's false advertising.
It is false advertising. There was, I know, in the up through the 80s, McDonald's actually got like decent reviews on their fries from like actual food critics because they were frying them in like beef tallow. It's like,
Yeah.
holy shit, they're frying this shit in straight up. It's like beef lard. This is crazy. But I think at some point they switched it so that it could be like a vegetarian option, which is valid.
Oh, boo, another thing ruined.
The burger joint has like 3 vegetarian things. Come on! You gotta be shitting me. Sorry, I'm on my phone. I'm pulling up the next. All right, we got Gucci or Greasy. This is a good one. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Gucci or Greasy, closed captions when you have the volume on.
If you can hear it, you don't need to fucking read it. It drives me nuts when Katie's a captions person. I can't stand it. If there's like stuff going on and I'm like kind of watching something, fine.
Yeah.
But if I can hear it, I agree. I just end up reading. I don't know why. I just end up reading the whole time. I'm like, I'm not even watching this. I'm not even seeing what's happening. I might as well read a book. This is ridiculous. Get this out of here. It's ridiculous.
That's fair. I think it depends. If you've got, I don't have them on for live TV or anything. Ashley has them on for basically just like movies and then like some British shows. She's like,
British,
what the fuck
yeah,
did that guy
okay.
say?
Yeah.
But I did for
then
years.
you read it and you still don't know.
For years I did it because there was a period of time I will say I wasn't hanging out with a ton of friends at this point. I was like 11. My mom had the Hollywood Video Pass where you could rent up to 6 movies a day.
Oh my God.
And my dad's friend who was at the wedding, Todd, it taught me how to rip DVDs. And that allowed you to actually not only just make the DVD, but actually get like the menus and all like the cool shit to come with it.
It's so funny because this person you're describing, I didn't know anything about, even after talking to him for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But when you just said that, he taught you how to rip DVDs. It all.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That all makes sense.
For a whole summer, I made like, but that definitely, I was hitting the special features, making sure my closed captions. Yeah, for years I enjoyed doing it, but I understand where you're coming from. And it's not my go-to.
Is this going to circle back to you bragging about your reading level again?
Yeah,
that's why you got so good at reading.
Yeah, exactly. I got so good bragging about stealing shit from the Hollywood. My mom bought me the $10 a month Hollywood Video Pass. Woo! No, those got
wow. Hollywood Video. How far before Blockbuster did they go under?
Oh shit. I don't know, man. That's like the Hydrox to Oreo right there. I don't know. That's
I felt like Hollywood Video was better.
And well, they had a way better video game situation.
They had other stuff going on.
Yeah, they had Game Crazy, which allowed you to trade in games for, I mean, of course, it's like the GameStop model. You trade in 6 games to get 1 or 2, but
$8.
But I always told my mom was like, "Why are you doing that?" I was like, "I don't play these 6 games. I'm gonna play that one." So there we go.
Right.
But that's it's a known model. But at Blockbuster, you could only rent. There was no thing like that. So I would go to the Hollywood Video over. Well, Mike would take me. Dad would take me over there so I could do the trade-in stuff. Right. Because they had it over by the Taco Time in the Wallingford that's now being changed to a Taco Bell.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
that's not
the
being
weird
talked
one.
about enough.
Yeah, the one that's across from the Dick's there. Huh. I think that's actually the first Dick's too. I think the first Dick's is the one that's. I could be wrong about that, but I thought it was the one that's in the Wallingford area. But in any case, yeah, that's where the Game Crazy was.
Interesting.
It's where you trade in 6 old sports games so you can get, the Matrix video game.
So it sounds like you're Gucci on this and I'm greasy.
Overall, I will say these days I would lean Gucci, but I don't mind too. I mean, I don't throw them on myself, but they don't bother me. And they're sometimes, nice to have if you're watching, I don't know, The Crown.
Yeah.
You're getting your
I get it when
Downton
you're watching
Abbey
something
on
foreign of any non-US, even some Canadian shows. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Or Vince Vaughn's talking. You're just like, slow down. take a breather, buddy.
Enunciate.
All right, are we on to Wikipedia?
We are.
This is you're doing Wikipedia.
This is the first time I've led Wikipedia, so I'm a little nervous. This is usually Cole's segment, so I took some notes. I'm going to read my notes.
Yeah, go for it.
It's about Robert Liston. He was a British doctor known for his speed and skill in an era prior to anesthetics. He was known as the fastest knife of the West End of London and could reportedly amputate a leg in less than 2.5 minutes.
I don't want my doctor to be the fastest anything.
We'll get to that. Some notable firsts. He performed the first public operation using anesthesia. He invented the bulldog forceps for clamping arteries, as well as the traction splint that we use today to stabilize femur fractures.
Oh, shit. We still use it.
We do.
This guy's a boss.
He is also known... This is the part I want to talk about.
All right.
He's also known as the only doctor to perform a surgery with a 300% mortality rate.
Okay.
So he was doing a...
There's got to be triplets or some shit.
He was doing a single patient operation. Killed 3 people. He killed the patient. He killed, I don't know, I guess one of the other doctors. Whoever was helping him with the operation severed his fingers, died from hospital gangrene. Also accidentally nicked somebody who was watching, killed them too. So he killed 3 people doing one operation. I'm
judging... Okay, so I do have many questions. First, what was he doing that, and it's fine, again, if it's not in detail there, but what was he doing that took off the man's fingers?
He was doing it fast. He was so fast, though.
We've got a real quick draw McGraw.
I think he's got it's a lengthy Wikipedia page, and it's talking about all the great things he did for speed and precision. What? Slow down. No, you're killing people here.
Yeah, I mean, fast is cool, but Ricky Henderson slides over the base a lot. You know, I want you to be real in the boundaries.
I think maybe he wasn't that good. Maybe we're giving him a little too much credit as a surgeon.
Well, in fairness, too, he was in an era where nothing really existed. So, you know, these days everybody gets to stand on the shoulders of the giants who came before them. That guy was standing on nobody's shoulders. He's learning shit. I mean, you said first guy to use anesthesia.
Right.
You don't know how that's going to go.
Publicly.
Guy could have, well, fair clarification.
So this guy's so cocky about his skills. As a surgeon, he's like, let's start doing this shit in public. I'll do it in front of people. I don't give a fuck.
At least he didn't go so crazy. He's like, anesthesia, I'll be in and out, man. Who even needs it?
Yeah.
Bro, this is a fucking 6-hour brain surgery. Whatever.
You got a saw?
Should I get my hand out of the way? No, I'll take your fingers off. Jesus Lord, Robert. That is an interesting. I'm going to have to dive into that Wikipedia page more. 300%. That also, okay, the other thing, obviously he bungled that one to an extent, but that is a testament to just how dangerous it was to just be alive.
This was the late 1700s.
Exactly, yeah. The era where you have 11 kids, not because you want 11, because you want 4, and you gotta aim for the numbers. I was
reading this is like, why would you even do the surgery? Just deal with it. Well, like, you're probably already dying anyway, so you're like, let's give it a shot.
Roll the yeah, exactly. Roll the dice.
Yeah, do people still die from gangrene? Does that still happen?
I'm sure it does. I mean, people still die from, not that it's in any way the same type of, but they die from the bubonic plague. So, is gangrene, in the same sphere as, when people have like necrotizing flesh, because that'll kill you, and I know that still happens to folks. Right. So my guess is yeah, but it's probably got to be something almost like scurvy where you're maybe don't have the same access to medical care that
the Wikipedia page
sometimes
said,
would.
Because the guy who got his fingers cut off and the patient both died from hospital gangrene. And it said most people who had surgery died from hospital gangrene back then. It just,
Yeah, totally makes sense.
Happened.
Yeah.
The other guy who got nicked died from shock because he was like, he thought one of his vital organs must have been pierced. And it sounds like he just had a heart attack and died because of that. So
he sounds soft.
It's his fault. It's Robert's fault.
There's blood on your hands, Robert, but that guy was a little bit on the soft end of things. All right, so we're about 12 minutes left, so let's get into our This Week in History, and we have a few this week. So, jump in on this first one. August 2nd, 1937. The Marijuana Tax Act of 1937. I do want to pronounce it that way because it's spelled with an H. Is passed in America. In the original tax act, yes. It is the actual
That's great.
marijuana. The effect of which is to render marijuana and all of its byproducts illegal. When was the first time you smoked weed? Or I should say, when was the first time you got high? Because sometimes those can be different.
That's true. Those are different for me. The first time I got high, I accidentally took 2 Ambien instead of 1.
Ooh.
And then decided I wasn't going to go to sleep.
That is like the thing to do if you want to get high on Ambien.
It was pretty dope. I played a lot of career mode on the show that night. And I made it from single A all the way to the majors by 7 a.m.
That's not bad work. That's more of like a stimulant move than a depressant move.
Then I couldn't go to work the next day. But
that'll
slept a long time. The first time...
really kicked the can down the road on that one.
Yeah. Let's use tomorrow's sleepies, too. And we'll be extra sleepy.
18 hours in a row.
First time I smoked the weeds, I think I was like 20, 21 maybe, kind of late, I would say, for a Washingtonian.
Yeah.
But, Shane, I was living with Shane at the time, and he had a little bubbler, and he was smoking the drugs on the patio. And I was still kind of, I think I talked about this on the last episode, kind of a nerd and like kind of very straight and narrow, like, you're breaking the law. It's bad for you.
Fair, yeah.
But I had also been going through a breakup. I was like, I could get high. So I was like, let's give it a shot. And I think that was the night I ate all those Fiber One bars.
I love how we've done enough podcasts now that we're connecting the dots.
Connecting the dots, yeah.
Can really get a chronology going for Chris.
Really punished the porcelain on that toilet the next day.
And for me, I was 14, and my dad was already growing weed. That was well-known family business for us. But I just, stole like an eighth from him, which I think he would understand. I don't think he would be too upset about that. And then I think I told my friends that I found it in the yard, which was plausible enough for them. I don't know.
Why do you have to make up a lie? You can just be like, hey, I got weed.
You can't tell fucking teenagers that your dad grows weed. The amount of questions and potential robberies and all the stuff.
So you decided a more plausible story was I found this stuff in the yard. Let's smoke it.
By the time, and then we got a little bit high and, pretended that the Windows Media Player visualization combined with Pink Floyd was really hitting the spot. Yeah, comfortably numb indeed. By the end of high school, definitely folks knew, but that was because we had people over and Mike didn't really care. At that point it was he did have a green card. It was legal for him to have some of what he had. It's not the full extent, but yeah, it was a known thing at that point, but everybody also knew who Mike was. It's like, if you want to try to rob the guy, it's very ill-advised. I wouldn't do that.
You're going to get hit with some chili and peanut butter.
He is armed, and he's also erratic when sleepy.
Erratic when sleepy.
Breaking in at 1 a.m. Yeah, exactly.
Depends on which previously lit cigarette he's on.
Exactly. I was going to do, you wake the guy up to solve one problem, you create two. That's the kind of guy he is. All right, August 3rd, 1527, the first known letter from North America is sent. I don't know how funny this question is, but how many pieces of physical mail do you send per year? So this was almost 500 years ago.
When?
1527.
Who the fuck did they need to talk to that far away? Why are you sending letters? Go talk to... the people around you. It had to be royalty. Had to be. There's no other way. There's no reason to talk to other people that far away.
It did not specify in what I had looked at. I'm sure I could have looked into it a little bit further and maybe found out, but I'm sure it was a person of some importance. To send the first letter, they're not just going to let me send the first letter.
I prefer to think it was sexually charged.
It's just...
That's just easier for me.
Just creating the postal service out of sheer thirst. Yeah, I get it, man.
Sheer horniness.
We've been
we need
there.
Somebody to take my horniness over there.
There's no women here. I'm going to need to jerk it to something. Yeah. You got like an old woodcut of a boob.
Right, that you made.
This isn't even good. I'm not even an artist.
Turns out it's my pecs.
Callback.
I think... So, I don't know. I buy and sell and trade a lot of, sports memorabilia and shit.
That's fair, yeah.
A lot. But if we're talking, actual, a letter or something...
I think it's fair.
As often as we remember to do the Christmas card.
And then the one time you got married, maybe sent a thank you card. Yeah. There we go.
Thank you card. Yeah, so that accounts for a lot of it, actually. Yeah. All the thank you cards we sent really brings the yearly average up.
Yeah. It's like you're like Brady Anderson.
We have to call that an outlier, I think. Yeah, Brady Anderson.
Relying on that 50 dinger a year.
Yeah. Who the fuck is this guy?
I'm hitting 6 a year.
I hit 12 a year.
Yeah, exactly. I don't sell the same amount of products or trade or anything like that, so I don't send as many things out there. But it is about time for me to get into the record sending game. I like to support the USPS. I like to like to get, I get enough mail, but yeah, I need to get into the selling some of these fucking records. I know we're running low on time, so I'm going to move us along quickly here. August 3rd, 1921, Baseball Commissioner Kennesaw Mountain Landis confirms the ban of 8 Chicago Black Sox the day after they were acquitted by a Chicago court.
Classic.
Should Shoeless Joe Jackson or Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame? I know, this is a tough one.
The Shoeless Joe, I have more of an issue with than Pete Rose. Put Pete in the fucking hall. He's the hit king. He was also not betting against his team. So
That we know of. But yes.
I also don't care about betting at all. Even if you were, the thing with Shoeless Joe is okay, they're talking about throwing the entire World Series.
Right. Yeah.
He's also one of the less guilty of the whole.
Yeah, his
crop.
guilt was questionable.
But put Pete Rose in. It's never going to happen, but I think he has to be in.
I do understand, the difference between deliberately losing versus, betting on other sports or betting on your team to win. Because at that point, if you are truly only betting on your team to win, it becomes an issue in the sense of, A, do you play guys you wouldn't play because you got money on the line? You leave a guy in longer or burn your bullpen or whatever. Yeah. But B, I will say the one thing that's not that I personally didn't think of as much, but what happens when Pete doesn't bet on the game? Then people go, well, Pete's not betting today. Then it's like, that's the whole part where I go, yeah, that I can see where that compromises the integrity, but completely understand the difference between one, Pete Rose hitting 42, 56 hits, and two, betting on your own team versus, again, deliberately like dropping a ball. But Shoeless Joe, like his numbers from the World Series are pretty great. He hit like 400 that series.
Clearly he wasn't trying to throw it.
I don't think he had any errors or anything. So there wasn't any clear, could he have legged a single into a double or something? I don't know if a gangster's going to be okay with that sort of nuanced way of throwing the game.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Also, it's like, I don't know. I think I would feel maybe differently about a player doing that today when players are actually getting paid. Like Pete Carroll, Jesus Christ, Pete Rose.
Yeah.
Was not really getting paid when he was playing or when he was managing.
Yeah, Fernando Tatis doing it, you'd be like, dude.
Yeah, what are you... You're paid. You're fine. You don't need more money.
Shoe?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Get out of here. But Pete Rose, also, I think the man's just purely insane, and I don't think that's fair to hold it against him.
He is intensely...
He's a crazy person.
Yeah. He's a guy that's got to win everything. Like
I'd
Michael
love to
Jordan.
meet him. I would love to have beers with Pete Rose.
Go to Vegas. We could do it.
Yeah, we absolutely should.
All right. August 3rd, 1946, Santa Claus Land, the world's first themed amusement park, opens in Santa Claus, Indiana. And we may have talked about this before, but if we did, we're doing it again. Do you like theme parks?
They're fine. Like, you and I kind of talked about this, not on the podcast recently.
Right.
Disneyland, I don't get why adults go to theme parks and pay that much money. Like, go to Silverwood or something. Like, go someplace cheaper.
Yeah.
Six Flags.
I mean, I like the brand tie-ins. You get all that stuff with, like, the movies. But I get it, the cost.
Yeah. Well,
but you're right, though. The cost escalate where you're talking about. Also, their rides aren't the best. Like, Disney World has all that intellectual property and cool stuff. I mean, you get the fucking boulder ride from Indiana Jones.
I don't care that much about ride. Yeah, I don't know. They're fine. Yeah. I always enjoy myself when I go, but I don't go out of my way to go.
Yeah, that's completely fair. You now have a daughter. You'll have an opportunity.
It's going to happen
least,
a lot.
You'll hit a Silverwood at least once, and I'm sure at one point you'll hit either Disneyland or
We'll
World.
end up in Disney World, no doubt.
Yeah. Well, I mean, land is at least close.
At least you can get drunk at Epcot. I mean...
Yeah,
not a total waste.
Yeah, it's a pain, but yes, you can. I've done it. You've got to go over to like the fake Mayan temple deal. I love theme parks. Understand for sure the lack of affinity for Disney World and Land because those are nuts. All it is strollers and rascal scooters.
Yeah.
Can't walk for shit. But some very cool rides at both of them, and always good food. Like, it's like basically a fair. So you're going to get some fried dough and some Dole Whip or whatever.
Yeah.
So that part's nice. But yeah, way too much money. I've told people repeatedly there are international vacations you can often take that are way cheaper than any Disney whatever would be.
Mm-hmm.
Like going to Italy will probably cost you less money on a day-to-day cost basis than going to Orange County, California, which is insane.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, if we're talking about Disney specifically, we're talking about two of my least favorite places on the planet, L.A. and Florida. Fuck off.
I'm gonna hit you with this last one real quick, and we'll wrap up. August 8th, 1988, the very first night baseball game in the history of Wrigley Field is played at Wrigley. Do you prefer day games or night games?
I pretty much only go to night games, but...
Oh, really?
You know how we were talking about how it was always sunny in the 60s and 70s?
Oh, yeah, through the
every
lens
baseball
of nostalgia.
memory I have, it's sunny.
Yeah. Even in the Kingdom?
Yeah.
What?
This day game is beautiful. There's a roof on the place.
You can't see shit.
Yeah. I don't know. Day games come with traffic, and especially if it's on a weekend, just too many people. But like a Wednesday day game when there's not a ton of people there, ooh,
That
I
is
love
rad.
that.
I think that's
Love
the
that.
money spot. I prefer the day games, but the busyness is a factor. But if you can hit one on a weekday, that is
Kind of the same reason I'm not crazy about theme parks. I don't like huge crowds of people.
very fair. Very fair. All right. Chris, I think that is it for this episode. Do you want to send us off?
Let's dismount. Thanks for listening or watching, however you're doing it. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, if you would, please. You can buy koozies from us still. Pretty sure that link is dead. It's in the bio.
We'll figure it out.
Message Kolpy. You can find us. We're people. Anyway, Jordan, love you all. Bucks and six.
Woo.